Digimon Story Time Stranger feels like the biggest swing this series has taken in years. I jumped into the demo and it's super clear Bandai isn't going small here. This isn't a little side project, it's a full-on RPG that just happens to star Digimon. So, the setup. You start off in Tokyo, working as an agent for Adamus. That's this secret organization that deals with paranormal anomalies. At the beginning, you pick whether you want to play as Dan Yuki or Canon Yuki. And here's a cool touch. Whichever one you don't choose doesn't just disappear into the void. They actually stick around as your operator, feeding you intel, giving instructions, and basically keeping the story grounded. Both characters matter. It's not like one just vanishes the moment you make your choice. During a mission in this sealed-off government zone, you run into a mysterious Digimon. There's an explosion, and suddenly, boom, you're thrown 8 years into the past. That's when things really take off. Now your mission becomes figuring out how to stop a full-on collapse of the world by investigating the links between past and future, the ties between humans and Digimon, and how those two worlds are colliding. There's time travel, parallel dimensions, mysteries everywhere. It pulls you in right away. Pretty early, you meet Inori Minsoni, a high schooler who's wrapped up in the central mystery, and she's got her partner Digimon Agumon fighting alongside her. And here's something I love. The way the game handles human Digimon relationships. It's not that trainer and pet vibe. It's actual partnership with real narrative weight. That's always been a core Digimon theme, partnership over ownership, and this game leans into it hard. Now, some background for context. Time Stranger is the 7th entry in the Digimon Story subseries. That subseries kicked off back in 2006 on the Nintendo DS. In North America, it was released as Digimon World DS, but that name caused confusion since Digimon World is a completely separate series. For a long while, story games stayed mostly on handhelds with fairly simple mechanics. Then, Cyber Sleuth came out in 2015, hit consoles and PC, and pretty much turned into a cult classic. Here's the thing though, Time Stranger doesn't directly connect to Cyber Sleuth at all. It's completely standalone. The only games that share threads are Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, which happened concurrently. So if you're brand new, you can jump in without missing a beat. Now, let's talk about the digital world here, because this is where it really clicked for me. In older games, you mostly ran around Tokyo or generic cyberspace dungeons. This time, the digital realm, called Iliad, feels like an actual place. It's built out with real environments where Digimon live and have roles in society. Gone are those empty, samey cyber dungeons. Iliad is alive. Central Town acts as the main hub, and the moment you walk into it, the scale hits you. Buildings stack vertically, areas are layered in complex ways, and it feels like a proper city instead of just flat maps with NPCs sprinkled around. And the Digimon? They're not just standing in place waiting for you, they're moving around, going about their business, existing in their own world. It feels like a place with its own heartbeat. And it's not just the digital world. You also head back to real-world Tokyo locations like Shinjuku and Akihabara, traveling between the human and digital realms. Each spot has its own Digimon copulation with their own stories. But the thing that sold me on the scope? Seeing Pegasusmon swoop in to carry you across an area. The size and detail of that model is wild. That's when you realize, oh, I'm tiny here. The digital world is huge. It nails that sense of being small, but important, inside a massive place. And mounts in general, they're in. You'll get different Digimon to ride, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up working kind of like TMs in Pokemon, specific Digimon helping you pass obstacles and open up new paths. Now, let's get to the real meat. The Digimon roster, it's massive. We're talking 450 Digimon you can tame and battle with. That beats Hacker's Memory's 341 and makes this the largest roster the series has ever had. And it doesn't feel like they just dumped them in like a sticker collection. The models look natural with accurate proportions and tons of detail. You've got the classics plus new designs that still feel authentically Digimon. Catching Digimon works through the conversion system. Each encounter builds a scan percentage, and if you fight the same Digimon enough times, that percentage climbs higher. Once you're near 90%, you can convert their data into a new teammate. You can do this anywhere, no need for those old farm systems. And since Digimon appear on the field before battles, you know what you're about to fight. Even better, you can shoot with R2 to trigger a first strike and snag an advantage. Combat is turn-based with some familiar Digimon foundations plus a bunch of new layers. At its core, it's still the vaccine virus data system, but now there are 7 total attributes and 11 different elements tied to specific skills. So you're juggling type matchups, elemental weaknesses, and party composition constantly. Your party can hold up to 6 Digimon, with 4 active in any battle. You can swap mid-fight without using a turn, which is huge when bosses suddenly flip their weaknesses. The demo actually shows this happening, so you can't just spam the same strategy. You've got to stay on your toes. There's also the cross-action system, where you sync up with your Digimon for combo attacks, called cross-arts. You get follow-up strikes with timed button presses too. And here's something I loved. Using items doesn't take up a turn anymore. You can heal and still attack in the same round. No more losing momentum every time you want to pop a capsule. For grinding, you can crank battles up to 5x speed, or even flip on auto battle if you're feeling lazy. It's a lifesaver. Another layer, personality traits. Each Digimon can develop one of 16 different personalities based on how you interact with them. This changes their stats, preferences, weaknesses, and even which skills they can learn. It also affects Digivolution requirements. So the same Digimon could end up totally different depending on personality. That's such a great way to make them feel like actual characters instead of just tools. Speaking of Digivolution, it's tied to your agent rank. You'll need at least rank 3 to unlock champion-level evolutions, which the demo teases but doesn't fully give away. And each Digimon has multiple branching evolution paths, usually half a dozen or more. The menus are clean rows showing your options, but the locked ones stay blank silhouettes until you meet the requirements. And every Digimon is represented in menus by these adorable retro sprites, which is just a perfect nostalgic touch. You can Digivolve and de-Digivolve freely to experiment with different forms and movesets. You can use extra Digimon to strengthen your main lineup. It scratches the collector itch without punishing you for not wanting to manage a giant army. Beyond just naming your Digimon, you can also buy attachment skills from vendors. Basically buffs that stack with a Digimon's natural attributes. So say you're up against a vaccine type, you bring a data type for bonus damage, then add elemental boosts on top. There's also the new agent skill system, which gives your character passive abilities. This includes buffs like bonus EXP, stronger attributes, or bond boosts with your Digimon. These skills can be upgraded as you go. You earn agent skill points from missions while your Digimon level up through battles. Your overall agent rank rises from multiple things: spending points, winning fights, finishing quests. It's more dynamic than just grinding one bar. And here's a huge quality of life thing: passive EXP. Even Digimon you're not actively using still gain experience, just at a slower pace, so you're never punished for sticking with favorites. But you also won't fall behind if you swap in new team members to try out. Combine that with the battle speed up, and grinding feels way smoother than older monster collecting RPGs. Exploration keeps rewarding you too. You can scan the environment for treasure and materials, pick up capsules and chips, and your Digimon even auto-heal if you stop moving for a moment. It's small stuff, but it keeps pacing tight. Difficulty options are included, with a hard mode built for people who want a challenge without it being unfair. Nice to have that flexibility. And here's something brand new: full English voice acting. Not 100% of the dialogue, but most of it is now voiced in English. Older Digimon games only had Japanese dub with subtitles. This change makes the story feel way more immersive and easier to follow for anyone who doesn't want to be glued to text. Production values in general are way up. Graphics look sharper, environments are richer, the presentation is more cinematic. Central Town especially stands out with its vertical design and detail. Whether the whole game can maintain that same level across the board is still a question, but the ambition is obvious. Performance-wise, it runs at 60 FPS on PC, but consoles are locked to 30 FPS. That stirred up some controversy, since the visuals don't really look demanding enough to justify the cap. The game launches October 3rd for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. No Switch 2 version yet, and no PS4 or Xbox One support. There are multiple editions with season passes that add extra story episodes, new Digimon, custom packs, and bonuses on top of the base game. And yeah, the base game itself is $69.99, which is pretty steep for a JRPG. There's a demo out now if you want to try it. Just know it cuts you off right when things get exciting and the agent rank cap stops you from digging deep into Digivolution. It's definitely meant to tease you into wanting more. Here's the bottom line. Time Stranger feels like both a love letter to Digimon fans and a seriously solid RPG in its own right. The digital world is beautiful and alive, the roster is massive, combat keeps you thinking without overwhelming you, and the quality of life upgrades make the grind way less painful. The story sets up time travel, mysteries, and partnerships that make you care beyond just battles. Of course, there are some fair concerns. The demo cuts things off before you can fully explore systems like Digivolution, and while Central Town is impressive, we don't know yet if that level of detail is consistent throughout the game. But the ambition, totally real. So whether you're here for the nostalgia of seeing your favorite Digimon in a modern RPG, or you just want a deep turn-based game with real strategy, Time Stranger is worth keeping on your radar. And that's where the demo leaves it. If you're a longtime fan or just curious about the digital world, it's definitely worth checking out.